Yet some people say I'm an asshole and a no good person. What type of person would bring out $3,000 of his own hard labor wages to help out a struggling nonprofit organization in California with trying to get out of this financial situation? That's right. Think about that for a second, because that was the main primary goal, was trying to contribute as much money as possible to these people to try to help them out. Oh shit, somebody didn't put out their cigarette before putting it in the ashtray. That's how you start forest fires, kids. Hang on. Only you can prevent wildfires. We made it to Cali. Let's go. Oh, there. Okay. Oh. Day 0 is going to be starting in about an hour and a half, which is where people can pick up their badges, get their plushes, collectibles, everything. It is so freaking crazy to be back here 2 years later when we were here 2 years ago at this very same hotel. Look at this, dude! Holy shit! No, that was mine.
They're like 10, bro. Leave them alone.
They're like 10, bro. Leave them alone. And the artwork they went with this year is just too fucking goddamn adorable, and I love it. They decided to do a Willy Wonka themed 10-year anniversary. Just look how fucking nice that artwork looks, man. I remember when we were about ready to head out for this event, I talked about how Daddy's coming home with the milk and the cigarettes. Well, I'm not coming home with the milk and the cigarettes, but...
It's a Smash tournament.
But how would you feel being known that you're one of everybody's favorite main six?
It feels wonderful. I love it. I mean, everyone's got their favorites. And it can be anyone. I think it's all wonderful. It's an honor when it happens to be Fluttershy or Pinkie Pie. I mean, Fluttershy did win at San Diego Comic-Con for fan favorite, and I mean, I do think that sticks.
Dude, we found Lulu. And for the record, yes, I will be back for next year's event. I wanted to talk about why I contributed $3,000 to this nonprofit organization, this struggling nonprofit organization, out of my own hard labor wages. I'm an unmonetized partner through YouTube. I've been continuously trying to fight the system to try to get monetized. They kept turning me down every single time. They never said why. They never said if it was the recycled content, the amount of foul language. They never stated why. And basically, when we went to this event in California this year, I had contributed $3,000 of my own full-time, part-time, hard labor wages to help out a struggling nonprofit organization. And sadly, it was not enough to keep the doors open. But that's not saying we didn't have a good time and we didn't try to help them, you know, pick a fight against all this financial situation. But sadly, it wasn't enough. And if you guys were in my shoes dealing with the amount of dumb shit that I deal with in this state, you know, state police officers causing DWI charges, driving while intoxicated, instead of protecting and serving, they're fucking trying to harm their own citizens. You got state police officers that are trafficking methamphetamines to minors, state police officers that are trafficking child pornography, which is an absolute disgusting government sin, especially if you're using people's tax dollars to protect and serve, but instead you're being labeled as a Jared Fogle of a state police officer, where you're over here trying to traffic photos of a fucking minor, and that is disgusting. And I decided that, you know what, maybe it's best that all these, these nonprofit organizations, their charities, everything else gets the money. And that's what I did this year. Was I had contributed $3,000 of my own hard labor wages from my full-time, part-time job. I also will bring up another thing while we're on the subject. I did say some fucked up shit a few years ago, and I take full responsibility for it. I was not in my right place at my right time. My Nana had passed away 2 years prior, and I was just going through a rough time because, I had a dead-end car, a dead-end job. My Nana ended up dying in her sleep. I was dealing with unmarked cops. I was dealing with just the most unimaginable pieces of shit and the most worst situations possible that I could deal with in this state. And I will admit that I did say some fucked up shit a few years ago, and I take full responsibility for everything I said, and I take everything back, and I fully apologize for everything. A few years ago just was not, the best forte for me, especially when my Nana passed away. I felt like I was having a fucking midlife crisis at that point when my Nana passed away. And it was not the greatest time. It just really wasn't. A few years ago, I felt like I was disconnected from the event. And I felt like I was just there for no reason. I took a little time away. I went to Seattle last year. I came back this year, and everybody's all telling me that I belong at this place. And, they're supportive of everything that I've done. I tried to help these people pick a fight with the financial situation, and sadly, even though I had contributed $3,000 of my own hard labor wages in hopes that it would help out, sadly, it wasn't enough to keep the doors open. But that's not saying that I took the money away from some bad people in this state, some bad actors, and I gave it to some people that could really use it. A few years ago, I missed out on my opportunity to bring home one of these, which included its very own light-up helmet. Like I said, I was just going through a bad time a few years ago. My Nana passing away, some unmarked cops getting in my case, a dead-end car, a dead-end job. Being jobless, having to spend time with the Goodwill job supervisor. I missed out on my opportunity this year, or when this year happened, 2022. But because of the whole full-time, part-time job and the fact I bust my ass off, can turn the sadly missing out on a positive, on a crazy idea to at least we tried to help them out with their $3,000, with putting $3,000 on their table and trying to help them out, So even though we didn't get a chance to get this one, at least we were there during the 10-year anniversary, and we tried to help them pick a fight with their financial situation. And yet some people say I'm an asshole and a no good person. What type of person would bring out $3,000 of his own hard labor wages to help out a struggling nonprofit organization in California with trying to get out of this financial situation? That's right. Think about that for a second. Because that was the main primary goal, was trying to contribute as much money as possible to these people to try to help them out, away from all the dumbass piece of shit people in this state that are either registered sex offenders or look like Grand Theft Auto 5 NPCs. Oh, man. I love the fuck out of this. I really appreciate everything everyone did this year. They made this year brighter as fuck. And you know what? Even if that $3,000 didn't help, I sure hope it went to a better cause. Well, all I gotta say to everybody else is prepare, because we have 9 months till our final farewell. I hope everybody's ready.